even if you can touch it in less than 1 hour, it will be great actually. So I think it's recording now. Yeah, cool. So can you see my screen? My
Yes.
whiteboard. All right, cool. So far, you guys have done. Let me just zoom out. So this is what I'm using is not Fig Jam. I don't have that set up right now. This is Fig, sorry, Penpots. It's something I just started testing out during the week, but the system started dragging, so I had to set up another one. Um, yeah, so we have all your notes. You have your interview notes across your user categories. You have your empathy map. You have your affinity diagram. Now, we are almost at the end of define. So yeah. So if you notice by what I shared, by this point, we are able to see that okay, we have some of the like if I could even refine this further and have because you can also have okay, let me put it this way. We have one, two, three, four themes and patterns, four themes or four patterns basically. One has to do with communication challenges, one has to do with student data management and reporting, one has to do with new tech adoption, one has to do with data security and privacy. Now, some of these we could merge them together actually, because at the end of the day, they will work together, but let's keep it separate. One other thing is this communication challenge is actually, it is possible for you to have a particular theme or pattern and have sub themes. For example, we could have communication challenges because some part of this communication challenge has to do with disseminating information to parents, general information, the parents visiting websites and not finding information, maybe information about resumption, information about the school calendar, information about what's other thing about school fee schedule and some of those things. So there are some of them that are like that. There's also the part of information or communication that has to do with report cards, disseminating information about the students' behavior in school and some of those things. So it's actually possible that within this, while everything is communication, while I have this box, I can have two boxes within this communication challenge box where I have two where I just now just go ahead to clean it up further and then know that everything is communication, but there's this kind of communication problem and then there's this kind of communication problem. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Feedback. Okay, cool. So I just wanted to point that out. Then if you notice my board, there are some okay, no, don't worry, I'll get to that. So I just want to point out because there are sometimes that you have one broad theme, but it looks like it's too broad. That is still the same theme, but you are nesting additional themes under that theme. So that's also possible if you ever find yourself in that. So what we've done so far is we've gone out. Uh, okay, Maki, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a question.
Go
So
ahead.
if you find yourself in such situation, like when in the same category there are some things that are rhyming, but they are not exactly um meant to be together, how do you now put it?
So that's what I'm saying now. So for example, say I have this communication challenge,
Yes.
but so you know that what I did was I created individual sections. So I created a box for communication challenge. So what can happen? Let me see if I can do something very quickly. I hope you'll be able to see it. So say I have this box, and this box is communication challenge. Let me put the
Yeah.
text. Let me just okay. Let me put hey, this thing is small. I'm communication, communication challenges. So what I can do then is, so I have this box called communication challenge, but then
Yeah.
within the box, let's say I've now found that, okay, all of it is communication, but they are like, I can separate the communication into two distinct ones. So I can then do this. I can have another box. Let
Okay.
me do this one. I can have another box and say this is not now this is now disseminating sorry, disseminating school information. So it's inside this box that will now put some of those things, those sticky notes that has to
Yeah.
do with disseminating school information. Then I'll do similar. Now, let me just make this smaller. Let's say the second one is now student is sharing, communicating students behavior, performance and behavior. So what it will mean is that while all these are communication challenges, because again, like ideally, if you want to separate things like that, you should have them separately. But me, my preference would be that, okay, if everything is similar, they are all communication. If I look at it, I know that all this has to do with communication problems. However, within that communication problems, there's a problem that is about disseminating school information. So I know that one of the things that we need to focus on properly is how to aid the school to disseminate school information properly. Which this is where the school website, school school website, the kind of information that will be on the school website and blah 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 will be coming in, and maybe how information about, or maybe school website that will also have calendar of PTA meetings that can send reminders, blah blah blah, all those things. This is where this can come from. However, this is also communicating to them. So we also need to, we know that the problem they are also facing is, aside from them being able to share information about like school activities. For example, we have inter-house sports coming up in so days, and instead of us printing paper, the children will lose the paper along the way, they do not get home and some of those things. Instead of that, so we know that those information, we need to tackle it. However, we also need to to tackle the issue of reporting student behavior to like the parents being able to see student behavior and student performance. So now this is just an illustration. In this sample, I most likely will not split it out like this, because I think I can still cover everything as one item. But if you have things like that, you can, like, you have a broad theme and you have small a niche team under those broad teams. We can treat something like that. So if you are looking at it, it's still communication challenges, but even under that communication challenge, you now have this particular type niche of communication challenge and this other niche of communication challenge. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
you're welcome. So let me delete this and then we'll go ahead. So far we have gone out, we've identified we've tried to understand the problem, what we want to solve. We've identified the people who want to solve it for, people that need that solution. We've prepared our interview questions. We've gone out to actually do interviews, to speak to these people. We've gotten insights. We've got our insight back. We've documented our interview notes. From that interview note, we've documented our empathy map. From that empathy map, we have then gone ahead to identify themes and patterns. What next? Everything is not necessarily linear, but I'm just talking about almost everything that you need that can be involved in this design thinking process. The next we want to do right now is to create user personas. Why do we want to create user personas? Now, you've spoken with real people, right? You've gone out to speak with real people. And brought information about those people into this place. And that's what you're analyzing. But along the line, while you are solving the problem, you want to always be able to refer back to this is the problem this person is having. And so you need something to constantly help you to constantly guide you. Let me put it that way. You need something that will be there to constantly guide you at every point. So that thing that will guide you, one of the things that will guide you, really is your user persona. And your user persona is basically a what's it called? A fictional representation of a real person or a real story of people that have that have a demographic, that has some problem they are trying to solve, that has some pain points, and yeah, basically that. So instead of picking what you are doing now is picking. So for example, for me, I spoke with I spoke with 6 participants each, 6 teachers, 6 parents, 6 admin, 6 school admins. Now, instead of saying every time, Madam Ngozi, this is the problem that person has, Madam this, I putting everything together. You now want to, in a way, you want to merge, because some of these people, they will have similar problems they're trying to solve. They will have similar scenarios. So you want to try and bring that together, and yeah, you want to try and bring all that together to create a fictional personality that represents the person having that problem. It might not be extremely clear, but let me quickly show you. Let me just quickly search something. User personas, persona examples. Okay, let me do this. Notes. I don't know if you can see this clearly. I can see this clearly. Let me just go. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Just give me a minute. It's
It's
loading,
just,
Abby.
yes. Okay, I
Sorry.
can see it. It's clear now.
Okay. So it's still the image I'm looking for is still, the images are still coming up. Okay, see this person. You have the person's name is Jill Anderson, and this is the image of the person. And this is not necessarily a real human being. So this, you just want to speak to some. Okay, there's a material that I downloaded I can share about. I will look for it if I still have it, about user personas that just gives you some guide. But the person's name, the image. Now, this year you can see age 35, work, criminal director, family, married with 1 child, location, and archetype with frequent flyer. You can see some, so this is demographic, like how old are they, what's the family structure and all those things. Then you can see organic, practical, protective, hardworking. These are like some traits about this particular person. Then you have like a biography, like just a very, very simple biography. He's a regional director who travels, blah, 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 blah. Just describing her briefly. See, personality, introvert, all these are not necessary. Actually, some of it, example, you might not necessarily do things like personality, but it's great if you can do them. Then preferred channels or preferred channels, like how do they browse or how do they use their preferred way of accessing mobile of accessing applications or solutions or software, stuff like that, or of working. They have, so sometimes it can be preferred browser or preferred channel. So this person, I think this is an ad. This is for marketing purposes. Okay, so this is for marketing purposes. So the person preferred channel for receiving ads or for seeing ads or stuff like that to be through Chrome browser, mobile apps, email, marketing, and traditional ads. Now, so this is there, but this is not as important as this other one that I even want to. They are important, but not as important as these other ones I want to talk about. So their goals. What is their goal? What are they trying to achieve? Their frustrations. What are the pain points and frustrations that they have? Their motivations. Maybe some brands or some products that they currently use. Now, it depends on your situation, for example. So, see another one. Are you guys still with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See another one. This person is a operations manager, Fred. This is his image. Is age 45. So sometimes if you don't have age, you can do age range. Age 45 to 55, married with one kid in college, one in high school, an undergraduate. This is his role in where he works. This is a company where he works. This is the goal and challenges he's facing. Shopping and industry news preference, like his preference for news and advert and stuff is this. What is here? Let's see if we can. Let's go back. Let's see if we can see like another. Okay. No, let's look at this one. Let's look at this one very quickly. So the just a moment while this is loading. Please, 1 minute, please. Okay. So can you see this one clearly? Also, are you guys there?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
see.
Okay. So this is Mary, the artist. She's looking to sell art easily online and gain exposure and up and coming artists. These are demographic. These are bio. This is our needs. And needs, challenges, goals, they are the same, just different ways of putting it. These are the pain points, like the challenges she's facing. This will be, so these ones, they added the ideal experience, like the ideal situation. So for example, if you have a product, I have spoken with someone and the person says, okay, so like you ask, so what would your ideal, can you tell me about your ideal product to solve or ideal way to solve this problem? And they tell you, so that's like the ideal situation, ideal experience. This is the pain point. I don't know what she's doing. She's an artist. She makes art, so I guess that's where this comes from, like the three most categories of own wares, maybe that she makes or something. I'm not sure, because this is the first time I'm also seeing this. Then quotes, yeah. Another thing you want to add is quotes. A quote from somebody that actually represents that group that you are like representing, or one or two. For example, this quote, 3 quotes here. So it could be from 3 people or from 1 person when they were doing the survey. So you get an understanding of what user persona is. So I'll just say user personas are fictional characters, basically. Fictional characters which you create based on your research. So based on the research, based on all the information you've collected, your user persona is a fictional character that you create based on that to represent the different user types that might use your service, your product, your site or brand or whatever, that can use it in a similar way. And the reason why we create personas is creating personas will help you understand your users' needs, their experience, their behaviors, and their goals. So imagine you are solving questions, you are solving, by the time you get to Ideate and you are thinking of how to solve the problems, and thinking about different features and all those things. At the end of the day, you need to come back to this persona. At the end of the day, come back to this persona that, okay, this is this person, this is the problem this person is facing. All that we have put together, does it actually solve? Are we actually talking to this person problem or deviated? So user persona can also help you to stay in the flow, like stay in sync with the problem you're trying to solve. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So, so I'm going to, there are a couple of stuff I'll just share with you on this, because the next thing, and okay, so how do you create personas? You think that will be the next required? Go ahead, Maki.
Okay. Sorry, you said something about quotes, so I didn't really get, because from what I'm reading here is like suggestions that they made, like they made while the user person, like when they were getting information from them. So I don't really get why
That's it.
it's called quotes.
Okay. So they are not suggestions, actually, not necessarily suggestions. They can be suggestions, but it's a quote because, so they can be suggestions or they can be representation of what they are feeling and stuff like that. It depends.
Okay.
But remember your say column, your say quadrant.
Yes.
All these are quotes. It's like the person said, we need a secure way to share assignments and resources electronically. You are quoting what the person said. We need a
Okay.
centralized system for student information. I wish I could communicate, blah, blah, blah. The paper notes often get lost. We struggle to track communication with parents. These things you say are basically can be used as quotes for quotes. So,
Okay.
for example, what this person says is, it is important that I connect to the bias. It's one of the things that they said. It's one of the things that will be in your say column. I really
Yeah.
just need an easy way to promote my art and keep buyers up to date. It's one of the things in your say column. The other part is not the actual transaction. It's one of the things in your say column. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not as
Yes.
if you are waiting for them that, okay, so please give us a quote on, quotable quote on something, something. No. Everything here, you're actually still pulling them from your, from what's it called now? From your empathy map,
See.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So so with that, so how do you really go about creating user personas? I won't go fully in detail, but I'll share, because I want us to cover as much as possible today. So I would share, I'll probably share additional content during the week. So how do you create user personas? The first thing that I would say is user personas are a mix of the demographics that you've researched, like all the people you've researched, the demographics, the user category, the demography, and the current issue that they are facing. For example, if you have, if you've spoken with, okay, let me make an example of um let me make an example of someone. Okay, let's take an example of ordering food. Yeah, let's use that as an example. Now, let's now say that your target audience is you want people to be able to order food from your app, and that's what you are really looking at, like a solution similar to food, Glovo, and stuff like that. Now, because your target could be what's it called now? Okay, your target are people generally, people working, people at home, and co. So a target audience, like a demography or a section of the audience, can be the 9 to 5er that needs lunch and needs to welcome Mav. So a section can be a 9 to 5 a 9 to 5er that wants to be able to order food easily, order lunch easily. But also, you can also, because everything is still ordering food, so there can also be a 9 to 5 busy mother that's sorry, a mother of 6 or an entrepreneur and mother of 6 who needs to be able to order cooked like bulk cooked food. Sorry, I'm just making this up as we are. So apologies for the pauses. But you know that the problem and the challenges and the needs and the pain points of the 9 to 5 person that just wants to order lunch quickly at work is different from a mother of 6 that also has or a single mother of 6 that, of course, she will be working, that also has work that she's doing, and she's not able to cook, and she just wants to order for a cooked soup or something like that. Do you agree that their problems will be different and their experience will be different? Do you agree or do you not agree? I need feedback.
Please come again.
A 9 to 5, a 26-year-old 9 to 5er works 9 to 5, works for someone 9 to 5. No children, single, not married, 26-year-old 9 to 5, works in banking sector, and what she wants from food ordering app is she wants to be able to order lunch easily, and lunch should get to her hot, ready, and in a very good, and so that she can have lunch at work. Compare that person with a single mother of 3 that's also running a business and doesn't have time to cook and needs to put order for cooked soup that she can just quickly warm and cook rice to it, and so that she and her children can eat. Will these 2 categories of people, will they have the same pain points or the same needs or the same experience?
No, definitely.
Okay, so that's where the user personas helps. So, for example, you can, if you are solving a particular problem, and even let's say you even have just one user category that you are, for example, let's say the only people I talk to are teachers. It's possible for you to have more than one user persona, because, for example, the teacher in the village will have a totally different experience as the teacher in Abuja, right?
Yes.
Or the teacher in a school where they are paying 1 million per term will have different needs or different experiences from the teacher where the students are paying 5,000 naira per term, and then they are still forcing them, they are still running after them to pay that 5,000. They have different experiences. So what you are looking at doing with your user persona is you want to look at the. I'm not going to do it here. I'll do it and share it with you guys later. I'm just explaining the concept, and I'll share additional resources and continue with it. But that's the essence why I'm also just showing you something like this. So, for example, this Mary that you are seeing on the screen, she's an artist. She's not a real person. She's a fictional person that came from combining similar people that you've spoken with, their needs, pinpoint their ideal experience and their demography, combining it together. For example, let's say you spoke with 10 people, and out of that 10 people, 5 of them are 9 to 5ers that are working 9 to 5, and the 5 of them, they wake up extra, like they work in Lagos, they wake up like 3 a.m. and they have so that they can go out by 5 and they get home like around 9, 10. Now, these 5 people, although they are different, but they are definitely have some similarities. In putting together my user persona, I've looked at these different people. I've then brought them together as one person. I can say, so let's even say I'm not saying age is 26. I can say that age 26 to 30 to cover these people. You get what I'm trying to say? So at the end of the day, it is the information that you have from and that's the reason why it's important. Let me go back to my whiteboard. That's the reason why for me it's important to collect this information. System. It was important to collect this information to start with. Mrs. Ngozi Okafor. She's a mathematics teacher at this school. She has 15 years of experience. Her age is 42. Then, of course, there's all these other things. So for every single one that I've collected, and that's the reason why I need to collect that, so you can know the person, the personality of the person that you're speaking with. And those personalities will then help you to put together your user personas eventually. So so user personas, basically you can so one of the things you look at is, who are they? Like 3 major questions that you are trying to, that you need to put front and center when creating user personas. Question 1, who are these people? So who are they will come from, will be the that will inform their bio, will be the thing that will inform, okay, are they married, are they single, what's their occupation like? And you know that again, all these people they are speaking with, they might not necessarily have the same occupation. So it's not as they are trying to come up like all of them must have the same occupation, no. But they have similarities of purpose. Let me put it that way. They have similarities of purpose and similarity of need. Our similarity of pain points. So you're able to bring them together as one entity that is so for example, let's say this PM thing now, have people that are married, have a career before, they want to switch into product management. You have people that are just in school, about graduating, people that are serving, they are similar age range. Let's say they are similar age, and their pain points is that when they go online, they find too much information about PMing. They don't know where to start. They just, and their need is they want to get into PMing, and they just need to, they want a structured way of getting into product management. Now I can group all these people together as one and name them Colade, the intending techie. Like, it's also good to give that identifier, like married artist or something like that. So I can say Colade or Colade for me, that's the first name, last name. And then the identifier is the intending techie. Then what's the bio? So I look at these people that I've spoken with that have similar challenges. I then create a biography that will fit Kolade Shofumi, the intending techie, that will fit this person. I create that. I what other thing, then the age, I put an age, what the marital status, or what are the other demographics that I want to put. And what are the needs? I put the needs together. What are the pain points I put together? Then what some of them, so this can now come from what some of them said. These quotes can come from what some of them said. Does that make sense to
Yes, yes, it does.
you? Then one of the best practices for creating personas, user personas, is number one, let that persona have a name. Don't just create a persona that doesn't have a name. It must have a. So imagine that anybody that sees this will think that this is an actual person, right? So you're creating a person. That person must have a name. That person should have an age or an age range. That person should have some of these basic demographic data. That's number one. And all these things. At the end, should have the need, should have the pain point, should have the quotes and any other information that and that's number one. Also, very important, the person get a picture to use for the person. Now, when you are using a picture, don't say Kolade Shofumi, the intending techie. Kolade Shofumi is Yoruba. And then you now go and carry the picture of an Asian person and put. Or you say, what's the name of a Chinese person? Like your persona is a Chinese person, but you now put the picture of a Black American. It doesn't follow. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Your picture should match.
Yeah.
Like when anybody sees this, okay, if you didn't know about user personas, if you saw this online, you think this was an actual real person, right?
Yes.
Now, you know that there's no way for so if it's an actual real person, all the information must tally. So there's no way that this person there's no way you would be sure that this person is real. If the name is Lade Shofumi and it's the picture of a picture there's a Brazilian or a Korean, you definitely know that, oh, this picture is fake. Do you get what I'm saying? So then also, you cannot be solving problems in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and use the name and picture of an American. So, in essence, is whatever you are doing should be something that is relatable. That's the keyword. It's something that is relatable. So, the location that you are trying to research on, or whatever, that location or those categories of people should match the name, type of name that you use, and the type of image that you use, and the type of biography that they will have. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right. So let's continue. So your next task, after you have done this affinity diagramming, your next task will be to create user personas. Now, so one of the things that can help you in creating the user persona is you can create a user persona for that covers similar issues. So, for example, I can create a user persona of a person named Chinedu Michael. Chinedu Michael, who is, there's something here that says new tech adoption, like overwhelmed by technology, limited concern about user adoption of the platform. So let's say that the people I've spoken with, there are people that are not tech savvy, and there are people that are very, very heavy techies. Now, I can create a persona of Chinedu Michael, who is 46 years old, is married with 5 children, blah, 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 has these needs, has this wants. However, one of the other things that is there is that Chinedu Michael is not tech savvy. He's not tech savvy, but so his challenge now is there's Chinedu Michael. He needs his pain points are he doesn't have time to go for PTA meetings. And he doesn't the school website or his school, the children goes, they don't even have working websites. Those are some of the pain points. His needs are to be able to get information. If he doesn't attend PTAs, he wants to get updated information from the school, and he wants to be able to reach the teachers of his children. Now, that's a persona. That's one person. You can then create another one who is Mrs. Okafor, who is tech savvy, attends PTA meetings, attends all the meetings, is able to see information on website. However, he just wants a little bit more ease, rather than waiting for PTA meetings to get feedback on the children. He wants to be able to a platform where he's able to see additional information about the child's behavior, the children's behavior, without having to wait until PTA meetings. And also an avenue to be able to lodge complaints or send in suggestions to the school without waiting for the PTA meetings. You know that these people, do you agree that these two people that I've mentioned, they have different issues and they cannot be grouped together? Do you agree?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So it means that you can actually create multiple personas for a user category. A lot of times, you don't want to have a number of times. If your solution or the people that I spoke with or what you're trying to research on, if it's very niche based, for example, you are researching things that only blind people that have vision. Okay, let me not use that. You are researching you are researching something for only families that have children and the children use close up. You know that one they will be similar because you've already put a lot of it's niche, it's very, very niche based. If you are doing something like this, like parents generally, teachers generally, schools generally, you will experience different categories of these people. So you are not expected to have one user persona. But in situations where what you are doing is heavily niche based, you will probably have two or three personas. And each persona can just be focused on one line of problem. Then in this situation where we have multiple user categories, so it means that I'm creating user personas for school admin, I'm creating user personas for parents, I'm creating user personas for teachers. Now, for the school admin, they are most likely going to be similar. So I can create one persona for school admin. I can create maybe two for parents and maybe two also for teachers. Does that make sense? So again, what I'm saying in essence is that depending if what you're working on is not niche based, you should have more than one user personas. So sometimes 2 to 3 is fine. Maximum if the problem is so big that is the same user category, but you have different classifications of people within the user category, that same user category, maybe maximum 5, but it should not be more than 5. Does that make sense? I hope you are noting this thing down. Guys, I hope you are noting. Okay.
Yeah.
So at the other time, I was mentioning something like 3 major questions that you need to ask. Who are they? you've answered that. What are their main goals? Like, what are they trying to achieve? What are their main goals? Again, from your interviews, and some of these will also influence. I'm sure if you want to go and do another interview today now, you will just add some additional questions, because some of the things that some of the questions that you ask will determine, will already give you answers to their main goals. For example, let's say um like you're asking them, why do they use a particular product, why do they use a particular service, and stuff like that. They will have a reason for using it, or if they currently have a problem with a particular service and they need an improvement in that service, they need something better. What is their ideal, what's their ideal, and how does it help them, or what exactly are they trying to achieve, and how is the current solutions limiting what they are trying to achieve. So that thing that they are trying to achieve is like their main goals. So it's also, again, all part of your empathy, the information you brought into empathy map. Sorry, are you going to ask a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to say that okay, we still have to uh get more of the information, because the one we did with my teammates, we didn't really get their demographics, and I think is lacking in that structure. So I'm just saying that we have to conduct maybe
Oh,
another interview or something.
well, if you don't have their demographics, you don't necessarily need to go back to interview them. The people that you spoke with, do you know their age? For example, if you see an old woman, you know that this is an old woman. If you see a young guy, you know that this is a young guy. Might not get the age perfectly. If you didn't ask any, you should try and get those information. But sometimes some people don't even want to give you this information. So sometimes you actually assume it also. Like just like the biography of this person on this right now, the biography of the person that you interviewed. You basically brought it up. So say I interview people that are working 9 to 5 hours, and I see that they are young, and maybe I ask them some questions and they give me some answers. From their answers, let's say I can guess that, oh, this person will be within this age range. So I can just use their age range. Then, for example, you are interviewing them. Do you remember, do they have wedding band on or not? And even if they don't, um, for example, um, so what I'm saying in essence is some of these things, or some of these, you can guess it, or you can, if you don't have it already, you can try and, based on the people that I've spoken with and based on some information you have on them, you can try and put together some of these demographics. You see, to get something, it might be close, it might not be exact, but it can be close. I've done interviews before that I didn't ask any of those things, and I just guessed um those demographics. And what I did basically was, instead of using specific age, I just used age range. Do you get? So if you can
Okay.
speak with them, fine. But if not, based on the people that you've spoken with, you will still have a sense of their demography. So you don't necessarily need to ask sometimes.
Okay.
So, for
Yeah.
example, let's say I meet a young lady that has children. Like, for example, what I'm working on has to do with parents. So I definitely know you are a parent, so you have a child. Um, so I might not be sure if you are very young. I can just give like a age that is a little bit low, not that high. Then I can assume, okay, if, for example, if the research I'm doing does not really matter if the person is a single mother or if the person is married or whatever, I can just put married there. But
Yeah.
if it matters, I can say this person is a single mother. For example, I'm working on a product that allows women with children to be able to buy kiddies kiddies stuff like clothing, diapers, and all those things, to be able to buy it easily. Now, in that situation, it can matter if the person is a single mother or if the person is not a single mother. because single mother, they need to buy something for their children, the pressure on them will be more than somebody that is not a single mother that has a partner that is there to help. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
again, it depends on what you are doing. But yeah, you just have to do case by case basis. Sure. Yeah, but I have the answers. That clears it for you.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Then the last major thing is, what are the pain points or the problems they have? Again, pain points. So if you see here, the image, the married, the artist, everything here, plus the bio, plus this graph, these circles here, is actually who the person is. Who are they? That answers. Needs answers what are their main goals. Pain points answers what are their problems, what are their challenges, what are their pain points, however people want to put it. Let's go back to the other one we're looking at the other time. Okay, so this one has more information. Again, it just depends on what you are doing. So for goals, instead of needs, they called it goals. Instead of points, they called it frustration there. And then, but the personality, the bio, the picture, the age range, the quotes, the motivations, all that forms the who are they, basically. So those three things, who are they? What are their main goals? What are their pain points or problems? Now, so I hope um that clears a lot of on user personas, because I want to go
Yeah.
to the next thing.
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
so you've created now. Your next task will then be to create your user persona. Then you've created your user persona. We still haven't come up with the problem statement. So the next thing is problem statement. What problem are you trying to solve? So basically, it's just you coming up. Again, I will try and do mine, put it together during the week, and just share it with you. Maybe Sunday, Monday, and just share a screenshot with you also. But sorry, I think my daughter is at the door. Just give me a minute, please. I'm coming. I sorry about that. So oh, okay, so let's just continue. Someone else is attending to her. The problem statement is the next, like, the section that we are in now is called define, right? What you are trying to do at the end of the day is we want to define the problem we want to solve. She? So all this affinity mapping, user persona is just helping us to get to the final point, the problem definition. So the problem definitions can take different forms, but I'll just give you one. So one form can be, so they have communication challenges, they also have data security, privacy, blah, blah, blah. So communication challenge, this is between the school and the parents, right? So a problem statement can be, how might we create a platform that aids proper communication, that aids timely communication between the school and the parent? That's a problem statement. Again, I'll take that again. How might we create a a platform or a solution that aids timely communication, timely and up-to-date communication between the parents, the school, and the parents? That's the problem statement. Another problem statement, this is student data management and reporting. Another statement here is, so this has to do with the school administrator having to overwhelmed by administrative tasks, the teachers they are tired of using paper notebooks and spreadsheets, paper notes often get lost, blah, blah, blah. So they need a platform that is friendly for both teachers and parents. So another problem statement here can be, how might we create a platform that aids student data management and timely communication with parents? Now, here we're primarily now talking about student management system. Here, we are only basically just talking about communication. Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Hello?
No, please come again.
Okay. So, you have looked at affinity diagram. You have seen that one of the things here is there's communication challenge.
Yeah.
So, what you are saying now is this thing, whole communication challenge, turn it into a problem statement. So a problem statement can ensue. A problem statement can be, how might we create a platform that aids timely and up-to-date information. That aids timely and up-to-date information dissemination between the school and the parents. What we are saying in essence is, how can we create a platform that can help school and parents communicate better with having timely communication and up-to-date communication? All that problem came from this pattern or this theme. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So also, there's another one here that is saying that where the school authority and the teachers are like, using paper to grade students often get lost to spreadsheets get lost, or then also do all those things. They are very time consuming. So another problem statement can come from here that says, how can we create a system whereby a system that can aid how can we create a system that can be used to manage students' data and reporting for schools? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's
So,
different from a
and some
communication problem.
yes, and sometimes those things can be interwoven, because for example, let's say I created 4 problem statements from these 4 challenges that I've seen. New tech adoption. So another problem statement is, how can we create a platform that is easy to understand and use, so that people that are not tech savvy will be able to use it, Abby? Then there's also one that is here, like a system that has data that focuses on the security and privacy of data it's managing. Now, these are now 4 different problem statements now. I can decide if the 4 statements are, for example, this new adoption, I can bring it into the data management thing, where I'm saying that, so we need a student data management and reporting system, but we also know that some people that will use it, they are not very tech savvy. So I can also combine these two by saying that, how can we create a system that is easy to use? Sorry, how can we create a student data management and reporting system that is very user friendly and easy to adopt? So I've basically combined this problem with this problem as a problem. So it means that while I'm creating this, while I'm trying to solve this, I'm also focused on that this thing must be easy to use. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But sometimes you might not be able to combine. For example, some of them are big. So by the time you finish all these things, some of these things will be big enough on its own. Like each problem, they might be big enough on their own that you cannot combine them. But sometimes something like this can be combined because it's just saying that whatever you are trying to create has
Should be
to
exact.
be something that is easy for people to adopt.
Yeah.
Okay. So because for example, if I want to do this, I could put this instead of creating a new section for new tech adoption, I could bring in 3 here into student data management and reporting and put it as one. So I can bring it into student data management and reporting. I can also make a copy of it and bring it into communication challenges, because whatever I want to do here whatever I'm doing, I just want to make sure that it's easy to use at the end of the day. Does that make sense? Hello?
Yes, it does.
Okay, all right, cool. Maki, are you with us? I'm not sure, but I don't think I've been hearing your voice. Maki, Shamaka, are thou with us? Hello, Maki. And I'm beginning to wrap actually. Again, I'll put together mine. I'll just share my screen and take a screenshot and share it with you guys. And I'll try and find some additional content that I can just share with you to use. I'm not sure. Aki, are you with us? If you are with us, you're on mute. In case you are talking. Hi, Maki. I'm coming. So I'll just continue really. Favor. I hope Maki is around at least to still. But Favor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Let me just continue. At least the class is recorded, so you can always make reference to it. So the next thing here at this point, you've now created your affinity diagram, created your user persona, then you've put together your problem statement. You probably will have more than one, right? So the problem statement that you have, let me just create another section for problem statement here. I'm not going to do it now, but I'm just creating the boxes. Now, so you've created a problem statement. So you've created a problem statement. The next thing is, okay, so 3 problem statements, for example. Which one do you solve? That can be a question, right? So
Yeah.
the approach will then be, which is the most critical and that will have the highest impact? Just those 2 questions. Of your 3 or 5 or 4 problem statements, which one of them is the most critical? And which one of them will have the highest impact? So for me, I need to be able to communicate with parents. There's also another problem statement about school management system. So which one will touch the most? Let me use another language. Which one will touch the most lives? Which one will reach the most people? Which one has the highest reach and impact? And which one is, and also is very critical. So it has to tick both boxes. It is critical. So you can have maybe a 4, 2 are critical. But which one of them has highest reach and impact? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So this now you can look at again. Now look back at your user personas and look at what is their goal do they need to achieve, and what are their pain points. Then look at the problem statement and look at, okay, if I solve this problem statement now, if I pick this, that this is what I want to solve first, will this have as much impact on these people? Is this what they are looking for, or is this something else? So is it critical to them, or is not, or is just by the way? So, and those are decisions you have to make for everybody on the team that you're working together on. Like, what do we solve first? What problem do we solve first? Yeah. So, is that clear? Is that fine? Maki, are you with us? Favor, you can go ahead. If feedback from
Yes, yes, I understand perfectly.
Okay, all right, cool. Thank you. Maki, are you with us? Are you still there? I'm not sure she's there. Okay, so Favor, I think it's mostly you now, right, for tonight. I think everybody will just catch up on with the call, with the recording rather. So right now again, you've done your user personas, you've identified your problem statement, and after deliberating and brainstorming, you've decided on again, I'll put all this together. I'm sorry, I actually was meant to have done it, and then we are going through it together as a class, but we are a lot behind, so I just want to put as much in this class, and I wasn't able to do this. So during the week, I'll try and put together user persona and everything, and just screenshot and share so that I can see what I have. Not necessarily ID, because don't forget that the information I'm using here, the information is AI generated. So some of the important information that I need will not be there. But in either ways, I'll just use the information I have like that. So you've decided on the problem statement that you have. What then is the next step? The next step, let me see. Do I have this document? Oh, okay, no, the same thing. Oh, I don't have it open. The next, so by the time you decide by the time you define the problem, like you decide on the problem that you want to solve, you have successfully come to the end of the define phase. Are you with me?
Yes,
So at that
yes,
point,
yes.
you have successfully come to the end of the define phase. The next phase then is ideation. And ideation is very simple. This is where you and your teammates will have to now do a lot of brainstorming. Ideation is very simple. You have a problem you are trying to solve. You have the user personas of the people you are solving the problem for. Start generating ideas we have to solve these problems. Now, some things to note. So those kind of things, you want to do it over a call or over a discussion where you are maybe using a whiteboard and you are just drawing ideas. Number one, so there are different tools, and I'll recap this also next week. There are different tools you can use here. There's brainwriting, brainstorming, Scamper, and a number of ones like that. But the summary is, this is the problem we want to solve. This is the person we are solving it for. This is what this person wants to achieve. And this is the problem we want to solve. Okay, so how do we go about solving this problem? Ideas. So first with brainstorming is you are just generating ideas as much as possible. At this point, so your ideation phase, it splits into two. The first part of the ideation phase is to generate as many ideas as possible. At that point, no idea is stupid. So you're just writing the idea and putting it on the board, writing the idea, putting it on sticky notes, stamping it there, writing the idea, putting it there, just saying the idea. So at this point, the first phase is not there. They will say, okay, so I think we should create a system that can fly. And then you say, no, that will not work. That is not the point. That is not what you are doing at that first phase of ideation. The first phase of ideation is, if the person says, okay, let us generate ideas, a school management system that when I click the button, this laptop will now fly, will now jump up. It's an idea, put it there. It's not stupid. of course, you want to lay some ground rules. That some of the ground rules you want to lay is that ideas should be focused on the problem you are trying to solve. You are not deviating from the problem you are trying to solve. Like you should be, you are looking at ways to solve that problem. So you are not doing things that are just fancy. At this point, you are not doing. This is not the. This is not when you are fine tuning. This is just. So one of the things that you can do, for example, is can say in the next 5 minutes, each person, like for example, there are two of you on your team. So when you want to do it, you can just say that in the next 5 minutes, each person will come separately without looking at what the other person is doing. Each person should come up with 10 ideas on solving that particular problem within the next 5 minutes or within the next 2 minutes. In fact, you can do it as others. You within the next 2 minutes, come up with 20 ideas. Does that make sense?
Why is there a short time frame, please?
What did you say?
Why is there a short time frame? Why are you giving them a short time frame to create more ideas?
The reason is this is not the time for you to be overthinking the ideas.
Okay.
This is the time for you to just generate those ideas as quickly as possible. Some of them will make sense, some of them will not make sense. But if I tell you that, oh, okay, generate 20 ideas and I give you 30 minutes, you will write the first idea. And I've been thinking, will this one work? Will this one not work? But if I tell you that generate, okay, for example, I tell you that I want to build a brand. This is what the brand is about. This is the product they want to be selling. These are their target audience. In the next 1 minute, come up with 30 potential brand names for this brand. In the next 1 minute. You know that in the next 1 minute, you are not thinking that, oh, we should not be the best name. I just want to ask, the name is coming. You are just writing it.
Yeah.
So the reason is at first, you want to bring a lot of ideas without having to filter them out yet. Then when you now have all these ideas, the next part, the second half of the ideation is now look at each of these ideas. Which one makes sense? Which one will not make sense? Which one can we combine? Which one can we maybe make sense? Maybe it doesn't make sense totally, but if we do it slightly differently, it will make more sense. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So there's a technique called scamper that I can use for that. So it's the scamper is SCAMPER. Scamper is to substitute. S stands for substitute. C stands for combine. A stands for adapt. A stands for modify, magnify. P stands for the purpose. E stands for eliminate, and R stands for rearrange. So what you are doing basically, you have some of these ideas. S, for example, you are using the scamper technique, for example. You're looking at, okay, the first one is substitute. Like, substitute basically is which part of this process or which part of this idea can we substitute with another part to make it a old idea or to make it a better idea. Like, what can we remove and substitute with something else?
Yeah.
Combine is, okay, so we have out of all these ideas, there are idea A, idea C, and idea D. Can we combine them to form a new idea?
Okay.
You see that at this point, what you are doing is you are refining your ideas. But you need a lot of ideas, both stupid and good. So what I say is when you are doing that at the beginning, there's no stupid idea. Get as many as possible. Then you now start some of them. By the time you look at it yourself, you will, and you know that this idea does not make sense. You will eliminate it. So it's also part of sample. Which idea can we eliminate, or which element from this idea can we eliminate? So basically, you are just doing You are just looking at all these things and looking at them in different ways, Again, at the end of the day, while you are doing it, in reference to your user personas. If you do this with this idea, is it solving this person's problem? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So that's what you are doing during Ideate. Sorry, you are doing Ideate. That's all you are doing. You're generating as many. So another method that is used in ideation is called brain writing. And brain writing instead. So brainstorming is the other one I've said. Brain writing basically is, so I can say that in the next 2 minutes, write three ideas on write three ideas on how we can solve this problem. Then when you finish writing, the next person on the team will then have another 2 or 3 minutes to to generate ideas based on what you have written. So you write, you pass it to the next person, they then write based on what you have written, you pass it to the next person, that person writes based on what two of you have written in the past. So that means wait, that one helps is the first set of ideas is just the first person, but along the line, as more people are writing and participating, they are refining the idea of the first person and the idea of the second person. They are refining it again and again and again. Does that make sense? So that's
Okay.
one of the other that's one other framework or technique that is used in Ideate. So you can just, one of the things that I do is you can put in Google search um techniques used in ideation phase of design thinking, and you see the different ones there. But
Oh,
by the time you put all these ideas and you refine them, and you now have ideas that you are happy with, you have also successfully completed ideation phase.
okay. And all these things
So
is done with a teamwork, right? Sorry to cut you short.
yeah. You do, since you are working as a team, you do it as a team.
Yeah, yeah.
But for example, let's say that you are the only one on the team. Like you have a personal project and don't have
Mm,
anybody to work with, and you're working on a personal thing yourself. You have to do this yourself also. And you just have to keep it all the ideas again, you look at it, put all the ideas down, then you now start defining by yourself. But especially this part of idea generation, a number of times it's just better to have someone else partner with
exactly.
you, even if it's a friend or something. You just like, okay, this is what I want to solve. But even if it's just you, you can still use the same technique and refine and create ideas, then start refining the ideas the line. But usually, so in a tech team, in most companies, you have like a product designer, you have an engineer. So a lot of these projects that I've done, a lot of product discovery projects I've done, I've actually done with product designers. So at the very least, will be two. Sometimes I think the marks that I've done, like this flow, I think we were five marks. I think that's the max. They have done about five of when like we were going through these and generating ideas and all. But most time, worst case, I think just two, myself and another designer, is also very a pro when it also comes to design thinking process. So yeah. But sometimes if you have personal project and just you don't have a choice, you just have to try and do this alone at the end of the day.
Okay.
But the things I've said today doesn't make sense. Let me go through the four again. One, from where you have done the empathy map. So you've done the interviews. From interviews, you put together your interview notes. Then you do the empathy map. Then from your empathy map, you generate your themes and patterns. Then after generating your themes and patterns, you then go ahead to create your user stories. Now, once you've created your user stories, sorry, I said user stories, user personas. Once you've created your user personas, you then go ahead to like, to write problem statements based on your analysis of themes and patterns in conjunction with the user story, the user personas. You put together problem statements. Then you now rank the problem statements by which one is the most critical and has the highest impact, highest reach and impact. Then, or so another way to put it is most critical and highest value. So that's another way to put it. So once you now pick the problem statement that you want to start with, I mean, you can do that one, launch a product, and come back and continue with the other problem statements as an addition to your product eventually. But the one that has the highest impact, you've picked it. The next thing now is you've done define, you're now in ideation. Ideation is basically just brainstorming which ideas can we use to solve this problem. As many ideas as possible, not negating as many ideas as possible. It's best to give yourself a very short time to come up with a ridiculous amount of ideas. Then, after doing all that, whatever method, you then go on to fine-tuning these ideas using different frameworks. Then, once you fine-tune the ideas, and you now have the idea that you want to run with, that done with the ideate phase, the next phase will now be the prototype. And we'll not talk about prototype today. But next week when we meet, we'll talk about prototype and testing together, basically. So prototyping, and then just my input. Have you heard of wireframing before?
Yes, I've heard of the concept, but I don't know what it entails.
So prototyping is one of the things in prototyping that coming up with wireframings or wireframes of the solution, or coming up with a prototype of your idea of how you want to solve the problem. Like the solution you now have now from the ideation phase, you now use that to create like a prototype. Then when you now create that prototype, you now go out and go and test it with people to get their feedback. Then you get the feedback, you improve on it, maybe 1 or 2 iterations. You see something that sits well with people, and then that will now go on to develop. You see how it flows into development, right?
Yeah.
So we are at that point where we want to just finish up the define and then get the solutions, which is the idea. And then once you get the solutions, next week we'll just talk about prototyping and testing. And once we talk about prototyping and testing, we'll go on to other things like discussing what MVPs are, feature lists, putting together RD, writing user stories, acceptance criteria. Then we'll talk about product strategy, just very in brief. We'll talk about product metrics also in brief, and testing, quality assurance in brief. And I think we'll just that will be by the time we do testing, I think that will just cover everything. But yeah, so your task for next week, from where you are right now, by this time next week, I want to have your solutions. That's where you are meant to get to by the end of next week. Your solutions. So I don't know how you and your teammates will now split the time, your meeting, so that you can go through all these things and at least have and be able to reach the end that like where you're meant to get to. But for example, creating user personas is not hard. I'll create mine, I'll send you screenshots, but it's not that hard. There are things you can quickly do, meet few minutes each day to just try and wrap up and to get to where you to get to the solution part from where you are. So do you have any questions? I say again, Mars, please still not with us. Do you have any questions?
For now, no.
Okay. All right. So thank you for joining the call this week. Like I mentioned, I'll try and do some things on my board also and just doing it. And I'll also try and look for additional materials maybe short material that I can just refer to that to help guide you also. And if there's any questions, please send it on the to me on the group, and we'll meet next week Friday. You will enjoy the rest of your night and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you for the
You're
class.
welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, bye.